There could be moves to regulate the so-called saturation of holiday rental properties in Brighton. Those in charge of planning laws in the city say they want more powers to deal with the issue. Those against the rentals say they can lead to antisocial behaviour and puts first-time buyers further away from owning a house. James Lua reports.
Lorelei runs this boutique Airbnb in the city.
I've designed this whole flat to be a really calming writing retreat, so everything here is nautical themed. And
while understanding that housing is hard to come by, she tells me not every short-term let is the same.
I think it comes from the right place because obviously it has got out of hand, and I think we need to protect people that are trying to buy their first-time buyers. This has been a lifeline for me, like many other people who really benefit from being able to supplement their income with, even if it's just renting out their room or their sofa bed. But I think the main thing is I absolutely love this city. I wouldn't want to do anything that causes a problem.
But under fresh proposals set out by Brighton and Hove City Council, stiffer regulations could be on the way.
I would like to see a mandatory licensing process and devolve powers to council so that we can make sure that we don't give too many licences out where it's causing a pressure, for example, and we can control how many Airbnb type lettings there are in one area.
Working cross-party, the lobbying of the new central government is now hot on the agenda again.
Here in Brighton and Hove, we have some of the highest rents in the UK, and it's becoming a more increasingly expensive and unaffordable place to live. We have residents in the North Lane, this ward, who are telling us about their streets and how more and more of the houses on those streets are being given over to short-term lets.
It has already been announced that registration and planning rules are being introduced in England, but Airbnb told the BBC the issue is more about the lack of new homes being built and that visitors to Brighton who stay in short-term lets actually help the economy. And then there's the topic of antisocial behaviour.
We always forget that, if you're living next door to a party house, it's really disturbing for you and your family. So we would consider those aspects as well.
But Airbnb say 2/3 of Airbnb guests to Brighton visit with their families, and the typical guest is around 40 years old. We have zero tolerance for bad behaviour, parties are banned on our platform, and we may remove users who violate our strict policies. Housing has been highlighted as a priority for the new Labour government. So for people like Lorelei, a sea of change is likely to be on the horizon.
And James is in Hove now. So James, what's the next move for the council?
Well, you heard a lot from Jill Williams there, one of the councillors here in Brighton and Hove. She has written to the new Deputy Prime Minister and Housing Minister, Angela Rayner, outlining some of those proposals that you were hearing in my piece. And the next step is the King's Speech tomorrow, which Labour will use to outline a lot of their new policies. And they'll be hoping that this issue of Airbnbs and short-term lettings will be high up on the agenda, and they'll get some things into their local powers very soon.
Thank you, James.